Hey, today I'm going to show you Screencast-O-Matic, and I'm going to show you how to make a video audio version of your tests, and then we're going to trick a Google form into password protecting that audio version of your test. And then I'm going to show you how to post it onto your Google Classroom. And if you're not really worried about your kids, like if you're in an elementary school classroom and you don't need to password protect your test, then I'll show you how to just post a video to your Google Classroom with the audio version of your test using this amazing program right here called Screencast-O-Matic. In fact, I'm using it right now to make this video. All the motions you see on the screen are me using my mouse. I'm actually using a bamboo board. It's like a doodle pad to move the cursor, but your regular mouse or your trackpad on your laptop works just fine. So I use this program, and it allows you to record videos up to 15 minutes for free. If you would like to pay the $15 a year, or if you can get your principal to buy it for you, you could go longer than that, and then you could actually record like computer audio, so you could play a music or something on your computer and it would record that as well. But this is just coming from the microphone attached to my laptop. It allows you to record just a portion of the screen or all of it like I'm doing right now. So it's a great program. I suggest using it. In fact, I use it to help my kids out with notes. I always tell them, hey, if you're getting stuck on something and you want to hear it again, let me know. I'll make a video. But most of the time, I just make ones for the tough ones. So when they get home and they get stuck on their homework, it's easy for them to look it up, and they aren't trekking all over YouTube trying to find someone else teaching it differently. This way, it's how I'm teaching it, how they're learning it, and it just flows beautifully. And here's what I'm talking about. I'm in the process of uploading my videos that I made for last year to my classroom website as just resources that they can use. And the ones we used for our sound and light, I made notes on wave notes that we did in class, and how to calculate wave speed, and that one's actually a two-part video. What I find with students is that the best videos are between 3 and 5 minutes. You can go 5 to 10 minutes, but be prepared, the students will zone out a bit. Anything over 10 minutes is just a wash. Nothing, it's not worth anything. Once you hit that 10-minute mark, they're fried. My suggestion would be to keep your videos under 5 minutes, quick and simple for them. And I try to do that here. So I'm going to show you now. I just got a brainwave earlier in the year. I'd like to make an audio version of my test, and I'll show you that right now. I posted it to YouTube. Oh my gosh, my test is on YouTube. Actually, no one can find this test because I took off any way to find it, and I marked it as private, which I would suggest you do as well if you're going to use my method. So here's what it looks like. I did 2 tests, audio version this year, digital audio version, and the kids absolutely loved it. Before, I offered to all my students, if you'd like to have the test read, please come back. This was great for them, but what it did for me is it didn't really allow me to monitor my class very effectively, and it got very cumbersome in a couple of my classes where I had 10, 15 kids coming back to have their test read. And this way it allows them to hear the test. They can rewind, which is something they can't do with me at the table. They have to wait until the end for repeats. But this allows them to rewind and replay and actually see the text read as I'm reading it, and it's in a familiar voice. I had many students use this, and with greater success than I did even with students coming back. So I would suggest doing this if you're thinking about doing some sort of audio version of your tests. Here's what it looked like.
Hey everyone, welcome to our final science test.
I don't know if you can hear me from my speakers.
If you would like to have the test read to you, you are in the right place. We'll start off our test with
I literally just read my test off of my Word document that I had created, and it just like I would do in classroom. And I told the kids ahead of time to bring in headphones, and I borrowed some from our library as well, and we used our Chromebooks. But this would work on iPads. It would work on really any device. All right, so I'm going to click out of here. And this is what the students saw when they logged on to my Google Classroom. Let's see, I got to find it now. They were able to log in, and all I did was create an announcement that said, please follow this link if you would like your test read to you. So they would click on this, and then it would come up, and they would have to put in my password. And my password for this one, because the last time I changed it, was for makeup tests, and this is a great resource for makeups. And so once they typed it in, the next button would come up, and we'd hit next, and there's the test. And so there's no, you can't see the link. They can't keep this. There's no way to copy it. It's pretty foolproof, as long as you get your permissions right on YouTube. So let's take a look at how I would make that Google form. And if you're in an elementary school classroom, or if you don't need to password protect it, like you only have one section of that class, then I would use Screencast-O-Matic, save the video to your desktop, and then just upload it to your Google Classroom, and then take it down after you were done. But if you do need that password protection, here's how you do it. So Google Forms does not really have a function for this, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make our own way. We're going to have to kind of trick it. And so I'm just going to create a blank Google form, and if you've never done one before, they're very simple. I would play with it a little bit before you attempt this. So I'm just going to name this sample, and I'm going to go ahead and add in another section to this really quickly, because this is where we're going to post our video in the second section. So we don't need that right now. Now in this first section, we're going to need to add a question, and we are going to, in mine, I usually just say I give the directions, call it whatever, like chapter 3 test, and then please view the video below if you'd like to hear it read out loud. So let's just call this one, sample. We'll name our question sample. We don't actually have to pose a question here. And then we're going to change it from multiple choice to short answer. And we want to make this a required question, because what this does is it will not allow the students to go on to the second part until they complete the first part, hence the password. And so this is the trickiest part. We're going to click these three little dots next to that line that says required, and we're going to go down to where it says data validation. So now we're going to create the actual password part. And so what Google Forms is saying is you have a question and they have to put in the answer in order to move on. But we don't want it to be a number, we want it to be text, and we don't want it to be just have it contain, we want it to be, what did I do here? Oh, I'm sorry, we don't want text, we want regular expression. And we want it to be matches. And so what you're going to do is you're going to type in whatever you want your password to be. But we have to tell the computer where to start and stop, so there's like a little, I guess for lack of a better word, a little coding lingo in here, but it's not a big deal. We're just going to use the up arrow at the beginning and the money sign at the end. Now the students will not have to type in that caret or that money sign. They will just have to type in what's in between this. All those two symbols do is tell the computer start here and stop here, because we want the regular expression to match exactly. So all that means is start and stop. And that is it for our password part. So we are done with this top portion here. Scroll down, and this is where we would put the video. I usually just delete that. And we don't need really anything here. We're just going to add a video. And this is where the YouTube portion comes in. And so I've actually closed out of my YouTube. And let's see. I'll just use one of my videos that I've made, this one, and I want this URL.
Hey everyone, welcome to our final science test.
I want the URL for it, and remember that URL is not viewable, like the students cannot find it. So we're going to come back to this form. We're going to check it from search. I guess suppose we could search it, but no, we couldn't because it wouldn't pop up. So we're going to paste that URL there, and then we'll hit select. And now that video is down here. Center it, and you can use these to actually make it larger for them. You can tweak that, but we are done. That is our Google form, and then we would hit send. We don't need to send it to anybody. The only thing we really need is this link. I always shorten my URL for my students, and so we're going to copy that. It's on my clipboard, so all I have to do is hit Control V now, and I'm going to go back to my Google Classroom, and I'll show you how I would post this. So I would hit the add, and we would make an announcement, and then I would just insert that link. You could add a link there as well. Oops. Try that again. Just add that here. Having trouble typing today, I suppose. This is just adding a link, and all this does is it makes this clickable for them. And so then I'd hit post. And there it is. So they would click on it, and it would bring them here. And notice they can't see the video. There's no scrolling down. What they would have to do is they would have to put on the line that says your answer, they'd have to put that password we created, which works perfectly. Hit next, and the video pops right up. And that's how you make a password protected video, or really anything you want to password protect for Google Forms. If you have any questions, or if I skipped over something, feel free to email me or get in contact with me with your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Have fun.